Welcome to Plain Living Homestead, where simple living meets intentional community. Here we believe in slowing down, making things with our own hands, and making space for the things that really matter. Whether we're sewing, homeschooling, cooking from scratch, or working out on the homestead, our goal is always the same: to build a bigger table to reach hearts and homes. We want our channel to be a space for encouragement, creativity, and the beauty of everyday simple life. Pull up a chair and stay a while. Today we filmed a sewing vlog, so let's just jump right in. Today, Maddie and Lily and I are going to work on a fun project together, and I thought I would bring y'all along for the process. There is always something that is just relaxing about sewing. Watching the pieces come together, getting to play with all of the fabric and prints, and then the final product and the satisfaction of making something unique with your own hands. But it's never just about the sewing. It's also about the time spent together, the little moments that make up our day together as a family. You'll see the boys playing around, doing homeschool work, because that's just our life around here. It's messy, it's unpredictable, and there's always lots going on. Grab your favorite drink, especially a coffee, settle in, and sew along with us. Or if you're just here to relax, sit back and listen to the music. Picking out the fabric is probably one of our favorite parts of our sewing projects. There's something so fun about looking through all the colors and patterns and trying to imagine what they'll look like in whatever project you're making. Have you ever found yourself collecting fabric just because it's beautiful? I try to be intentional with what I buy, but I have a habit of buying out other people's stashes. And when we were still in South Dakota, I bought a stash of about 300 different types of fabric. And the great thing is, I paid a ridiculously cheap price, like probably 75% off the regular price of this fabric. But now that we're in a much smaller house and I don't have a sewing studio anymore, we have got to sew through this stash of fabric because it's just in totes and on shelves and it's taking up a whole closet right now. So I need to clear that out, and we have lots of projects planned over the next few weeks. For this project, we had to go through several different things because we're making some t-shirts, and I have all sorts of different fabrics. So there's double brush poly in different weights, and there is terry. It's knit terry, so it's stretchy like for a sweatshirt. I have several weights of cotton lycra. I have ribbed knit. There's just all sorts of different fabrics in this stash. But because the girls are going to be wearing these shirts, I went ahead and just let them pick out which ones they like best. Now, Maddie wants to sew her own shirts, so she picked out this sturdy cotton lycra because it's very easy to sew with because it's stable, and even though it's got a lot of stretch to it, it's not slinky or slippery. But then since I'm sewing Lily's shirts, she went with some of the ribbed knits and the double brush polys that are a little bit harder to sew with. But Maddie picked solids and Lily picked lots of fun, crazy colors and some different combos. So stay tuned and see what we come up with. All right, on to the cutting. Arguably the most nerve-wracking part, and honestly my least favorite part of sewing projects. I don't know why I don't like this. I think it's just so tedious and it feels like nothing is quite getting done yet. It's the same thing over and over again, cutting out the pattern pieces and getting the fabric folded up, and I just do not enjoy this. Thankfully, I taught Maddie how to cut out her pattern pieces, so I didn't have to do all of hers as well. If you're like me, sometimes you second guess your sizing or your cuts, or you get worried that it's not going to turn out exactly the right size or the right fit. Here's a little reminder. Good enough is good enough. If you just made something with your own hands, that's pretty amazing. So don't worry about it. Learn from this experience, adjust your pattern, and try again. Eventually, you'll get the perfect pattern every time. For me, there is something so therapeutic about the sound of a sewing machine. It's this steady rhythm, almost a white noise when you get into it. The fabric just smoothly glides up into the machine. It's just a calm moment in all of the chaos for me. I especially love to fast forward the footage and listen to all of the sounds that it makes. I really enjoy watching other sewing vlogs where they speed up everything and you hear that little whir of the sewing machine. Okay, we're finally getting to this stage here where everything is coming together, and this is the most exciting part. Those last few pieces, the last few stitches when you know that you're done. I love projects like this because it reminds me how fun and satisfying it is to create things. People are going to say it's not about the finished product, it's about the process and the time creating. But for me, it's all about this finished product. So here it is, the finished pieces.